Hi guys! One of my favorite things to do every year is to graft, and the types of trees that I've grafted before are apple trees and pear trees. I have heard that those are some of the easiest types of trees to start with, and I've been doing it I think around for 10 years, and I've had some success, some failure. I think part of what determines whether you're successful or not is the type of spring that you have. So one year it was a fairly wet spring, and then it warmed up really fast to like 90 degrees. So that year we only had about 90%, we had a 90% failure. So only 10% of the grafts took that year. And I think that was just because it got so hot and so sunny so quickly in the spring that they dried out and they died. You want the graft to heal, and you don't want the Scionwood to dry out before the graft heals, otherwise the Scionwood is not getting any nutrients. So basically what grafting is you're taking a rootstock, which normally you buy, or you can also graft onto a seedling rootstock. So for example, you could take an apple seed, you can plant it in the ground, and then the apple that grows out of that seed will be genetically unique. It will be its own genetic apple. So it might have some of the characteristics of the parent apple, but it will not be exactly the same. So one of the reasons why people graft is to preserve old varieties of apples. So say you find an apple that you really love, like your grandpa grew that apple, or there's an apple variety from the store that you really like. The way that those apple varieties can continue is by grafting. And grafting is taking a piece of wood from the parent tree that is the tree that you like genetically, and taking that when it's dormant. So that's in the wintertime. So after the trees have stopped growing in the fall and the sap has stopped flowing in the trees, that is when you want to take the cuttings, which is right now where I live in Pennsylvania. So January, February, it's mid-February now. I wanted to get some Scionwoods cut sooner, but the trees are still dormant. It's been a really cold winter, so I think I'm still good, hopefully. So you want to take the cuttings when they're dormant and store them in the fridge, and I can show you how I do that. And I just wanted to show you on the trees what type of wood you want to get. You want to ideally get last year's growth, and that will be, I'll show you what it looks like, but it's basically the branches that are usually on the redder side, and if you prune last year, sometimes the tree will push out new growth, so those are ideal to get. You want to try to get the branches that are about 1/4 inch in diameter, because that's a good size to graft, and the rootstocks usually that they send are around 1/4 inch in diameter. And then when you splice those together in the grafting process, if you have a similar diameter, the outer layer of the branches, the cambium layer, that's the alive layer, that's what you want to try to increase the contact of. That will most likely line up if you have similar sizes. So I will real quick show you the types of twigs that I will select for. Okay, it is really windy today, so I'm sorry for the wind noise, but I'm just going to show you real quick what the Scionwood that I get looks like. This is a branch from a northern spy tree, and you can see these are some of the older branches. This is an older branch, and as you look at the branches, you can see that like these tall ones that are sticking up here look a little shiny and a little bit more reddish. These are suckers that grew last year. These are ones that I will take for Scionwood. And what you're looking for Scionwood, like I said, is the last year's growth. So usually I look for suckers like those, or I look out to the end of the branch. And apples will usually put the new growth on the ends of the branches. So the ones up here, I could take too. Some of them are on the smaller side. I like to try to find a 1/4 inch diameter branch if possible. But yeah, those would be perfectly fine too. So I will just show you on this one little branch down here. You can tell that this is, I don't know if it's focusing, but this is older growth, and then there will usually be a bump that will show you where the new growth from last year started. So from here on is the new growth. This one is on the skinnier side, so if this is all that I had, if this is all the tree was putting out is the size of scion, I would take this and use it. It can just be a little trickier when you're grafting because most of the rootstock you get will be about 1/4 inch in diameter. So a small scion like this, you might have to just match up one of the sides when you're grafting. So yeah, if you have an old tree, like a very old established tree, one of the ways, if it's not producing much good new growth and scionwood and it's not vigorous or it's not a vigorous variety, one thing you can do is prune the previous year, and then usually trees will push out some new growth like this the following year, and that can be a way that you can kind of stimulate an old tree to produce some more new growth. If you're worried that that tree is not going to be there the next year, you can graft, like say this one for example, you can graft these. You just might not have as good of a success rate, but it would be better than having nothing. So yeah, I hope this helps you guys figure out what type of wood you can get for grafting, and that you have a successful year. Bye.